Ludicrous feed is proudly sponsored by Carloop, data to empower Australia's EV revolution. Okay, so here we are. Let's open up here. Let's start charging. Okay, some beeping noises happening here. Signs are good. Initializing charge. Hello, look at that. V4 Tesla Supercharger and the BYD Atto 3 2024 is going at the full rate at 39%, 87, which is pretty much full. Wow, I'm very happy with that. That's good. Good to see. When you're buying a car, a couple of things you need to ask yourself. Number one, how much do you want to spend? Number two, what is this car for? Is it a family car? Is it your personal car? And for the BYD Atto 3, for a car that's around $50,000, you really cannot argue. It's quite a good car. Let's be upfront about it. And I love the BYD Atto 3. I've had many good memories with it. We've driven it from Sydney to Melbourne and back again. I remember when it was first launched in Australia. I attended the event in Sydney, and there was a lot of excitement about it, and very much warranted because it was a very affordable EV, a competitor to the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y at the time, and that's certainly been the case over the last couple of years. It's certainly almost kept pace with the Tesla vehicles, being a very affordable alternative. And now with the new 2024 Atto 3, there's a few improvements which make it an even better car. And that's what we're going to do today, go through those differences and remind you once again why the BYD Atto 3 is worth your consideration as an affordable EV in Australia. Okay, so let's do a walk around of the BYD Atto 3 2024 plate. And I've done many videos on the BYD Atto 3 and the BYD Seal and the Dolphin, so I'm very familiar with the BYD brand and its ecosystem. And of course, I also own a BYD Seal, so check out those videos in my catalog. So this is the BYD Atto 3, very similar facade on the front, not much difference there. You can see these blue kind of plates here underneath the lights. That certainly makes it look really lovely with those blue highlights at the front of the vehicle. Now this black paint is new as well. I don't know, color still matters to me when you're looking at a car. I know it's very subjective, but having a black car with those blue highlights suddenly makes this car pop, and I do love it a lot. The front of the car doesn't look too bad actually. You've got these nice little details there, and then you've got the air intake down the bottom as well. You still got this odd mount there, which doesn't quite fit our plates here in New South Wales, so that's one little oddity you should be aware of. Another difference with the new 2024 Atto 3s is that they now come fitted standard with Continental Tyres. Previously they were Atlas Batmans, which caused a lot of arguments in online forums as to their quality, but obviously Continental is a very well-known brand, and their Eco Contact 6Q for those who are interested. They're running on 235/50R 18-inch tyres, and that is same for the front and the back as well, as you can see right there. Now, another difference with the BYD Atto 3 2024 plate is that the design here, or the detail at the back here, is now the same color as the paint. If you're choosing the black paint, which is new of course. Previously they were kind of this grey color, which stood out a bit more. And then the biggest difference to the car, I think, from the back of the vehicle is the fact now that the Build Your Dreams motif is now gone, replaced with just a very simple classic BYD logo there, which I personally prefer. I didn't quite like the Build Your Dreams writing on the back of the vehicle. I thought that looked a bit odd, but again, that's a personal thing. I think it looks really lovely, and it complements that light signature of the back as well. So yeah, there you go. Got BYD twice, of course. That's the same with the Seal. BYD. I suppose you could take that out aftermarket. And then you've got the EV there as well, so that everyone knows that you're driving a pure electric vehicle. All right, we'll look at the boot in a second, but we'll keep walking around for now. Pretty similar on this side, except for the fact that there is a charge port here. Let's have a look at that. BYD design, push to open, there we go. And there's a CCS2, of course, like most new EVs in Australia, with the flaps. Don't forget to close those when you finish charging. 7 kilowatts single phase still, and 88 kilowatt DC. And after this review and drive, we will go for a test at a V4 Tesla Supercharger to make sure it works, because that's been an issue for previous Atto 3s and some of the BYD Seals as well, not being able to charge at a V4 and V3 Tesla Supercharger. We'll go check that out today. No frunk or no bonnet storage, and that is the BYD Atto 3 2024 plate. Just from the exterior alone, a much better vehicle, now with the black finish, and certainly worth considering for a $50,000 drive away. Even with the black paint, the extended range is still under $51,000. So definitely great value. It's got a panoramic sunroof as well, which will go through the interior, and these roof rails too, if you want to add a roof rack later on. Rear wipers, which is fantastic. Bit of a lip here for aerodynamics. Let's have a look at the boot. Auto open and soft close as well. We've also got buttons there to close and to lock as well. Parcel shelf, which is great, which can be removed. And there's a 60-40 split, child seat anchors behind, extra storage down here. And Bjorn's got his banana box test, Gavin's got his potato test in New Zealand, but now I will try to do my umbrella test. And I wish I had my Rolls-Royce Spectre umbrella, but that's okay. I've just picked up a generic full-length umbrella, and you can see there, it fits easily at the hypotenuse across the length of the boot. So if anybody wants to buy me a Rolls-Royce Spectre umbrella, happy to use that as my standard measure, but for now, I've just got a basic standard umbrella. Let's have a look and see what's inside this BYD box that they give you, this kit. Now the charge port should be V2L, vehicle to load, so they should give you also a vehicle to load adapter as standard, but in this particular press car, all I've got is the 10 amp slow charger, which will charge usually at about 10 kilometers an hour. So you may not necessarily need to install a aftermarket wall charger if you're not driving that much. The average Australian only drives about 50 kilometers per day, and with that, even with a single phase 7 kilowatt charger, you should easily be able to top up that amount within 6 hours or so overnight. Let's have a look underneath, and you've got a tyre repair kit as well. And oh, there it is, there's a V2L connector, which I'm not going to open, but as I said, you can plug in any 10 amp socket. It should be 3.3 kilowatts, but this device says it's max 2.4 kilowatts, so I'll have to double check those stats. But if you wanted to take this shelf out, you've got that extra bit of storage down here, so that deepens that compartment too, which is good. Fantastic, that's a very, very good boot actually. Speaking of size, 4.45 meters, so there's not many EVs of that length at this price in Australia. So obviously the Tesla Model Y, 4.7 meters in length. You've got the Hyundai Kona, 4.35, MG4, BYD Dolphin, GWM Aura, they're all somewhere between 4.2 and 4.3 meters. You're looking at 4.4 meters, probably Zeekr X territory, which is the car that's yet to come from Geely Motors, and then Volvo EX30 is more like 4.2. So for a mid-sized SUV at this price, honestly, this is unbeatable value. I keep saying that because for that price, a lot of things can be forgiven. But having said that, it's still a great package. All right, well, let's head inside the car and go through an interior walk around. First of all, the side mirrors, just traditional manual analog mirrors, but there is a side camera as well, which is great. And cameras at the front here too, to help you with the intelligent cruise control. And there's also a dash cam built in, which I find interesting because the BYD Seal doesn't come with a dash cam, citing security concerns from China. But this is a Chinese vehicle. It's got a built-in dash cam, at least this press car does. So I don't know. It's still strange that some cars don't come with dash cams. Anywho, let's keep going. And this is the interior now. I might actually move the car so it's not so glaring. One moment. All right, so I moved the car so there's not so much glare. But the first thing I notice when I look at the new BYD Atto 3 is the guitar strings. They're back, thank goodness. I love that about the old BYD Atto 3, but it still is tuned to Smoke on the Water. Have a listen. Yeah, baby. So glad that it's still tuned to that. Classic. All right, let's have a look at the details. So a lot of soft touch materials, which I am very happy about as a reviewer. I do love my soft touches. It just makes the car feel more premium. And again, at $50,000 for the extended range, honestly, it's such good value. See that? It's all soft, even up here. It's great. And I love these door handles. Look, I've come to love them actually. I found them a bit odd initially, but it sort of fits with the marine theme of the whole E-platform, lineup for BYD. The Seal, the Dolphin, the Atto 3. It's all good. And this is back here, the sinewy stuff here. But now with the black exterior, you get this blue and black tone option on the inside, which I love because I did find the lighter shade a bit odd. It certainly made this too obvious or too pronounced. But now with this sort of bluier color, it makes it look a bit more refined, I think. So if I were to buy an Atto 3, I would get one of the colors that had the blue and black interior I think it's black and grey exterior that comes with these colours on the inside. Just makes it look a bit nicer, I must say. So that's still sinewy, but again, less accented. This is hard touch, that's okay, but this is soft here. And you've got the classic door controls, unlike other vehicles I reviewed recently, which don't have door controls. Must have my door controls. Creature of habit. And then this I quite like as well. I've come to love this too. This is like it looks like a spanner or something, right? But it looks almost very industrial. Sort of a contrast to the marine theme for the rest of the vehicle. Anyway, boot opening there, which is great, and then cup holders there as well. How good is this? Could do this all day. Lovely. Now, this press car doesn't come with floor mats. You know, you gotta have floor mats in your car. Look what happens when you don't have floor mats. It just gets really messy. Harder the vacuum. And then, yeah, there's the red accents. Again, the red and the black makes the car look a lot sportier, right? Don't know why, it just does. It just does. And then the same discs for the aircon vents. Again, across the front, because of that sort of darker interior, less accented, less weird, some people might say, but I like it. I like the fact that it's now toned down. Blue steering wheel, a bit more square, or a bit sort of blunted down the bottom there. Let's hop inside the vehicle. Take a look. Okay, so let's start with the steering column. So you've got the binnacle screen or instrument cluster screen there behind, and that stays with the wheel. So even if you adjust the steering column, that whole thing comes down with it. So yeah, take it or leave it. Again, the software of the BYDs, you know, some people might say it's not as refined, it looks very simple, but in my opinion, everything you need is actually on the cluster screen as well as on the center screen, which I'll go through. So if you don't mind that, you know, again, for the price, that can be forgiven, right? The design may not look as, you know, modern as others, but again, all the numbers there, all the telemetry that you need is right there on the screen. So again, take it or leave it. So, got other controls here on the steering column, BYD logo, horn. You've got intelligent cruise control, which I'll try to demonstrate today. But again, check out my past videos of the Atto 3. I've done plenty of road trips with it, including Sydney to Melbourne and back. Works okay. Just be careful just around like really tight corners. It may lose control a little bit, but yeah, and it's not designed to be full self-driving, right? So hang onto the wheel when you're using it. That's just my advice. Audio output. And then volume controls here as well, voice control, and also phone voice calling there as well. Let's go through the menu at the drive cluster screen while we're here. So for that, we go through the, what is it, this one here. So you can scroll through. So you've got stats for nerds, so average consumption for the lifetime of the vehicle, 16.2, which, you know, is possibly a little bit high for a car this size, 16.2. It's not terrible. I've seen other vehicles up near the 20s, but 16 is probably okay. I would probably ignore this this range here. This is like based on CLTC, maybe the Chinese standard, which is probably exaggerated. For this vehicle, you're looking more like probably 400 kilometers, sort of mixed use, probably a bit less on the highway. So yeah, at full charge is normally 480. I think probably maybe 400 is better. 400 kilometers is a better estimate. And then if you want to look at the last 50 kilometers, that's the consumption there. There's no way to, you know, discreetly tell you what the range is or the consumption is for the last time you charged or since the last time you charged. There's no way to just have that information for the trip computer. So yeah, that's something BYD could probably improve on, which I think the new BYD Seal and other newer cars have better software. So yeah, I'll test those when they come to Australia. You can flick the odometer to a trip computer. So there we go. Flicks between trip A, trip B, and odometer. And then this information here is for drive mode. So you can change that using the controls down here. So I'll just show you this one, this button here. You can flick that and it will flick between sport, eco, and normal. I normally do my tests on normal. Sport is more fun, of course, firmer steering, tighter turns, that kind of thing. And then this is for regen braking. So before you ask, there is no one pedal driving. You can flick between high and low or standard. Here we go, standard or high. I'll just leave it on high. I've become used to the fact that there's no one pedal driving in BYDs. Sometimes one pedal driving is a bit too harsh. Not all one pedal driving is created equal, by the way. Like Tesla one pedal driving is quite nice, and so is Polestar. It's a bit more blended, but other vehicles is a bit too harsh for me. Even the Korean cars, like the EGMP vehicles. So I'm happy just to leave it on without one pedal sometimes, even in those vehicles. Then other telemetry include, of course, speedometer, and then you've got the battery state of charge here. We're currently on 44, might drain it a bit more after a drive and go for a charge. And then you've got the power rating here, so you can tell whether it's using battery power or regenerative braking is in action. So let's see what else we can find here from the menu. So we've got acceleration timer if you want to go for a burst of speed, but honestly it's only 0 to 100 in 7.3 to 7.6 seconds depending on your variant, so honestly probably not worth doing in my opinion. It's still a reasonable traffic light beater, I got to say, at the lights, and also quick enough to get out of trouble. Front wheel drive vehicle too, for interest, 150 kilowatts, 310 Newton meters of torque. Driving time, average speed 20 kph, and there are your tire pressures there. So there you go, that's the menu settings there. And temperature, of course, 27 degrees. Wow, it's actually quite warm today in Sydney. Finally, thank goodness. Right hand indicate. Get a lot of comments about cars being imported being left hand indicate, which some people don't like. To be honest, it doesn't bother me too much. Auto lights and auto high beams as well. And then on this side, you've got the wipers, rear wipers you saw, not auto rain sensing wipers too. That's probably one drawback, I've got to say. All right, let's move on to the center screen. I've got it on Apple CarPlay, which by the way is wireless, as well as for Android Auto. I've just got it plugged in because it helps charge my device. But if I take it out, then you can actually swivel the screen as well. There you go. Ta-da! Now, this BYD does give out software updates quite frequently, so probably once per quarter, maybe twice sometimes. And apparently the newest software update has EV trip planning. So when that comes to my seal, I'll certainly do a review of that. But for the moment, that's probably the only drawback with the navigation, no EV trip planning. This is why I sometimes use Apple CarPlay with a better route planner for EV trip planning, which I've also done a video for too. We'll go through the infotainment screen a bit later on, but let's go through the rest of the cockpit or cabin first before we do so. There's a pan around of the rest of the cabin, including the passenger seat. There we go. Nice sporty seats there. We can see through. Headrest cannot be adjusted. And you've got this panoramic sunroof as well, which, by the way, you can open fully. So it is like a proper sunroof, which you can open all the way if you really want that. But of course, with summer coming in Australia, some people may not like the sun on the top of their head, so you can actually close the shade, which is great. And that can be stopped anytime as well. So how good is that, right? Fantastic. Really good. Visors, and mirrored as well, and lit. How good is that, right? How many features do you want in this car? Honestly, unbeatable. And then you've got reading lights up here as well, which are just touch, not buttons. And same, we've got a lit visor and mirror too, which is great. Now servicing, you just check out the BYD website for servicing schedule and warranty. It's a 6-year vehicle warranty and 8-year battery warranty. There are some stipulations as well, so check out the website for more details. Okay, let's keep going with the storage down here. So you've got the discs that we all know and love from Atto 3 for the vents, and then wireless phone charging down here too. And then the gear shift, pretty standard down here. Volume control, and if you want to reset the car or reboot the car, hang on to that button for about 10 seconds. Hazard lights, parking sensors on and off, auto hold, which is crucial. Some of the aircon buttons are down here too, which is great. Front demister, easy access, and we went through these buttons before. I think this is for snow mode. Cup holders down here, so you can take this one out too if you want, make it deeper. And one more thing I should note too about Apple CarPlay before I go through the infotainment screen is that when you've got Apple CarPlay on, I'll just plug it in to show you, one thing that BYD could improve on is the fact that you see that how the controls of the car disappear. So you've got to actually swipe up or swipe down to get the shortcuts. Otherwise, it's not there permanently, sort of disappears like that. You can control the fan speed now like that. 3 fingers left and right, and then 3 fingers up and down for temp control. So that has helped somewhat, which is good. That is the rearview mirror. And yeah, and then we've got one more bit of storage down here too, before we move to the second row. Pretty deep center storage actually, which is nice. All right, let's head to the second row. Of course, we need to do the door test, don't we? The door close test. It's pretty good, right? Honestly, again, for a $50,000 vehicle, not bad in this day and age. Guitar strings in the back, how good is that? I love it. Plenty of legroom, by the way, so no need to worry about that too much. I'm only medium-sized build, but you know, I was sitting in the front there before, plenty of leg room, 1-2 fists at the very least between my knees and that seat in front of me. Sports style seats, lots of storage. It's great. And then down here, got the discs again for the aircon vents, and then you've got USB-A, USB-C ports down here, a bit more storage too. And moving across here, yeah, that's pretty much it for the second row. And again, if you wanted the glass roof to be open, then you can pull the shades up as I showed you earlier. You've got reading lights across the back too, so it's good to see. And then you've got the center armrest as well with cup holders which can fold up like that, and then ISOFIX anchors across the back row for those who need it, of course. And then the back row headrests can be adjusted to up and down or taken off if you need it. And then good vision to the back and parcel shelf as you saw earlier. So yeah, and a small little window too between the C and the D pillars. Yeah, honestly, such a good car, such good value. Oop, try that again. Bit more force. Okay, let's go through the infotainment screen before we go for our drive. So this is just Apple CarPlay, which I won't go through because everyone knows Apple CarPlay. I probably use it most often because it's just handy to have all my settings, my Spotify, my TuneIn, my Waze, my Better Route Plan. Everything is just there when I go between cars as a reviewer. But yeah, it's just easy to set up, and all my phone calls, contacts, everything is there. Just porting between cars, which is great. But if you just want to play with the the infotainment screen without Apple CarPlay, so that's what it looks like. You can adjust the background as well if you wanted. It's got a particulate matter reader as well. There you go, currently inside 5, outside 20. There's a time there. And on this side, it tells you the elevation as well. So currently we're on flat ground. And the notifications update is available for voice package. That's great. If you've got a software update, it'll come up there as well. Now this has got camping mode. They keep saying this on the website. Yes, we've got camping mode in this car now. But essentially what this means is that you can stay in the car like I'm doing now with the aircon running and the car off, so to speak. And you can turn the daytime running lights off at the same time, which we'll go through in a second. But air conditioning settings down here. You can change what's here on the home screen very easily. So if you want it, you can have the Bluetooth for phone there instead, or you can have, you can have the BYD store there instead of Spotify, so you can play around with that as well. So when you're done, do that, and then you can use voice control. You can actually turn off, so because if I keep saying BYD, 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 with the voice activated on, it'll pop up with, yes, what can I help you? So I just turn personal assistant off because it's way too annoying otherwise. Right, let's go through the aircon settings first. And by the way, leave it on 23 because I find the temperature gauge is a bit strange. It's too cold on 22, 21, even in summer. So I leave it around 23 to 25, around that temperature, depending on how cold I'm feeling inside the cabin. Again, it's all personal, of course, but that's just my personal comfort level. So the usual standard aircon settings here. I think both front seats are heated, no ventilated. Rear windshield and side mirror heating, which is good. Air purification settings, you can just purify with a blast. Back to AC, fan settings there. And yeah, everything you'd really expect in a more expensive vehicle, honestly, which is really good. And then this back button's handy because it goes back to the previous one. I'll show you the shortcuts, which you can toggle by yourself. Look, there's so many settings, honestly. It'll take ages to go through it all, but I've gone through the infotainment settings in a previous video for my BYD Seal, so check that one out as well. I go through that in far more detail. And by the way, all the ADAS stuff, that's been taken care of. I'll show you my drive later on. I've not touched the ADAS settings since I took delivery of this press car, and yeah, I haven't touched it. It's not been annoying me much at all. So yeah, I'll show you what I mean later on. Okay, so that's aircon. Let's go through the rest of the settings. You can actually use the app to precondition the car before you get in. You can turn it to eco mode if you want. Automatic purification as well. If it detects a low particulate matter 2.5 value, it'll start blasting the car and cleaning it, so to speak. I like this feature here, internal circulation and parking. So when the vehicle is slow or parked, the recirculate mode will come on to get rid of nasty exhaust cast from other vehicles. Yeah, we don't want that. Let's go through each one real quick. There you go. The steering assist mode, brake assist mode, ambient colors for the car. Looks pretty cool at night. Dynamic ambient light for karaoke and music. It'll dance with the music. Exterior auto fold, which is great. Good for parking in tight spots. Went through AC already. Seats heating. We saw that before. And then locks, trunk opening height can be adjusted from here, from software. And then your fob settings and other settings for the windows as well. Auto lock while driving, which is handy. And the notifications come up here as well. Broadcast. Yeah, all those alerts do pop up if you want them to be telling you stuff like seatbelt on and all those kind of safety features. Vehicle prompt sound, so this is for the indicator. So if I put standard, it just sounds like this. Sounds like that across all the BYD cars, by the way. No, don't want that. And then you can test the pedestrian warning sound as well. Speed warning, if you really want that. I don't, personally. ADAS system, like I said, I haven't played with this at all. I just left it like this, and it's kept the settings, which is good. I might leave it on vibration, actually, just because sound can be a bit annoying sometimes. Not that it's really come up too much, but on my seal, I have it on vibration. Then traffic recognition. Yeah, well, you've got the sensitivity setting too now. Don't remember seeing that in my seal, so that's good to know. You can have a sensitivity setting offset 5 or 10 kilometers an hour, either way. It's good. High beam assist. Regen braking, kind of went through that. And then charge settings. Now, some people have an issue with the car not switching on to charge when the time comes. I've never actually had that issue with my BYD seal. I do have it unlocked in my garage though, so maybe that's the difference. I've got a third-party charger in my Ocular IQ Home. That's been fine. Even with my Tesla Gen 3 wall connector, it's been fine as well. So tell me in the comment section what issues you've been having with your BYD Atto 3 or Dolphin or Seal with scheduled charging. Charge port immobilizer system, whether you need to unlock your car every time you want to take it out. And then consumption again is there. Consumption curve. And average electricity consumption, 14.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers for the last 50 kilometers of driving. Service, maintenance, overall, front wiper check, and vehicle info. I think you just press that, it'll just say it's all good, I think. There you go. Okay, let's quick look at the system. So, yep, comes with a built-in cell. And then down here, you've got USB-A, USB-C charge ports. I might just take this out for you to show you that that center one is for the dash cam recording. And then there's a 12-volt plug too. No Sentry mode, but there is a slight hack. If you leave the car on with the app when you're parked, like for example, turn the AC on, you can actually have the dash cam recording at the same time. So that's a slight hack for Sentry mode for the front camera at least anyway. Wi-Fi can be used. You can hotspot to your own phone, of course. Audio settings. The sound system's okay. It's nothing to write home about. It's called Dirac. It's probably worse than my BYD Seal Dynaudio sound system. Display, brightness, adaptive brightness, all those things you'd expect. And then if you want to check whether you've got a software upgrade, you would press that one, so it'll check for you. Otherwise, these are the details there for this press car, 2403 currently. Factory reset, we're going to do that today. And then apps, all the apps installed on your car currently, storage, etc. And then time format settings, let's go to 24 hours. Okay, now we should go through the rest of the infotainment screen here. So you've got all the apps currently built in the car. Vehicle image is the cameras. There you go, that's the cameras behind me. It's actually pretty high res. I forgot to tell you too that the screen is bigger. So it's now a 15-inch screen compared to what it was previously, a 12-inch screen. 15 inches is the same as my BYD Seal, by the way. It certainly is quite noticeable now that it's a bigger screen on this car. So another improvement there. Yeah, nice, massive screen. Pretty reasonably high quality image that you get. And a 3D camera too, you can swivel around like that. So a lot of inclusions for this price. Yeah, you see how that fin, that D pillar used to be that grey colour. Now it's sort of a black finish, which is, I think, personally nicer. And then camera settings too. Okay, what else can we go through? So we've got dash cam. Again, like I said, it's built in this vehicle for some reason, not in my Seal. I had to install it myself. You can go through all the previous videos if you want. This is a press car, so I won't touch it too much. Spotify's built in. Android Auto is there. And then you can download more apps as well. In terms of service, yes, I've read that. And then what's currently available to download. Stingray Karaoke. I've done a karaoke video. If you want to hear me sing, watch that video. Browser, Amazon Music, and the manual can be downloaded as well. That's pretty much a run through of the 2024 BYD Atto 3. Okay, so I should probably go through the key pricing and specs. So BYD Atto 3 comes in two variants currently, standard and extended range. Standard is 44,499 according to the website before on roads, and the extended range is $3,000 more expensive, 47,499. And in New South Wales, the standard is drive away 47,078, and then the extended is 52,118 drive away. And with this black paint that you're seeing here, an extra $700, 59,553 drive away, including stamp duty, rego, etc., etc. 18-inch alloys, you saw that, black and blue interior around me here. Now the standard range battery is 50 kilowatt hours, whereas the extended range battery is more like 60 kilowatt hours. Now the WLTP range for the standard variant is 345 kilometers, and then the extended range is 420 kilometers. 0 to 100 in 7.3 for extended, 7.9 for standard. Both have 150 kilowatt, 310 Newton meter torque powertrain, front wheel drive, of course. 7 kilowatt single phase charging for both, and 88 kilowatt DC max, 400 volt battery architecture. So they're the kind of the key stats for the BYD Atto 3, and pretty much a summary of the vehicle as it stands today. So what's left to do now is to go for a test drive and then a charging test at a V4 Tesla Supercharger. So stay with us, let's do this. Okay, let's get out of this car park, and you can see how well this handles in a tight space like the Chatswood Westfield car park. There's no car park is ever fun to get out of, right? But I think the Atto 3 does a reasonable job of getting out of it. Alright, here's another fun corner to navigate. These curbs and pillars have claimed a lot of victims over the years. Not today, I say. Not with the Atto 3. Certainly not with a press car. Right. Nice curve here. Okay, and then another tight curve here to come down. Okay, I think we made it into the real world. Thank you, ticketless parking. All right, let's get onto the freeway. Now we can maybe cross the Harbour Bridge, come back round the freeway again. Do a mix of urban testing. So, again, just doing some handling here around a roundabout. Ooh, wireless charging, we don't want that. So I'm already plugged in. Double charging is not good, surely. Few alerts there. Now it is front wheel drive, like I said, so it can be a little bit torquey. Just be careful when you accelerate. Bit of a rumble on these concrete roads. So if I push it too hard there, it'll start to torque steer. Alright, we'll take a left here on Pacific Highway and then try to get on the freeway, do some intelligent cruise control testing. Oh, excellent. Now, of course, I'm just pushing it almost to the limits with the torque steering, but, you know, obviously if you just drive it normal like this, it's fine. It's a very comfortable ride, to be honest. You'll see on the freeway, it's a little bit bouncy at high speeds, but I find the insulation pretty good, actually. Not much is coming through. Almost hear the whine of the electric motor, so that gives you some feedback as to how fast you're going, which is nice. And yeah, suspension's actually pretty good, pretty gentle here on these urban roads. All right, let's head onto the freeway in real time. Do these real world tests. Bit of construction on the Warringah freeway, so we'll see how much intelligent cruise control testing we can do. And then we'll come back for a supercharger test. I know that's all you guys want to see in the new Atto 3s. Take out that range anxiety, charging anxiety, because the supercharger network is pretty good in Australia. Arguably the best provider currently. Far less downtime than some of the others. And with the V4 cables much longer as well, so we can reach any part of the vehicle, which is great. The V3s were a bit shorter, and same with the V2s, but the V4s, you should be fine. Okay, so let's pop in this left lane, and then we'll put on the intelligent cruise control. There you go, pop that on. Okay, there we are, worked it out. Have to press the set button first. 80 kph. Now, currently in New South Wales, if you are an EV, you can still use the T2 lanes. Not that we really need it today, it's pretty quiet currently on a Saturday morning. Alright, so I'm just going to rest my hands gently there. Please take over, so the nag is already there, but it's a reasonable curve to the right. And it's still lane centering reasonably well. Now wow, that nag is frequent. Having a car next to you does help. And you can adjust how close you want. So, okay, nag again. I wouldn't have my hands off the wheel too often in reality, but I'm just showing you in this test how much nag happens and whether it can lane center by itself, which doesn't seem too bad at the moment. Did the right curve okay. Let's go on the left curve. Okay, and T2. What happens when, let's see, that this ute wants to merge? Yeah, see, didn't really see the ute, did it? I had to brake manually, so just be careful with ICC. It's not foolproof by any means. Let's try again. So, alright, so we're in 60 conditions, so I may not use ICC for now. But what we'll do is go across the bridge and then we'll come back to Chatswood and do that supercharge test. Okay, so we're approaching the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Currently the speed sign detector is telling me 60. Let's see whether I can read the electronic speed signs up on the gantry there. Let's watch. Okay, so I picked it up at 70, which is good. So let's engage cruise again. Just bring it down to 70. So with my seal, you could bring it up by 1 km/h increments if you hang on to this up or down button, but unfortunately, I guess the software is not up to date just yet in this car. If you do that, it'll scroll up by 5 still. So yeah, up and down is 5 km/h. Alright, let's, I don't want to take too much of a gamble with the auto steer test because there's a concrete barrier on this side. I do not want to scrape the rims in this press car, that would be bad. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to take that risk today. And I don't like that lane because, yeah, it's obviously it's like the closest lane to the oncoming traffic, so I try to steer clear of that lane as much as I can. But you can see it's a good test for the lane following, right? So let's see if we go even closer. The car ahead slowed down, and so did this car, which is good. Good for heavy traffic. I guess you call it traffic jam mode, right? So just follow the car nicely ahead without too much intervention from yourself. Now, if you want to change lanes, like for example, I want to do right now. Just wait for one more car to pass before I do this test. Alright, so it's doing the lane following thing pretty well. Alright, so this black car is just passing me now. I'll just lane change, and you can lane change pretty smoothly, keeping ICC on, and then once you get rid of the indicator, it should restart ICC, and it does. Yep, the auto steer component comes back on. All right, let's pop into the city real quick, do a turnaround, and then we'll go to Chatswood Supercharger and then do that charge test for you. So stick with us, almost at the end. Okay, so we are back in Chatswood, and what you want to look for is on Victoria Avenue, you want to look for the mix at Chatswood Place. So not Chatswood Chase, Chatswood Place. And you'll see it pretty shortly. Now with non-Tesla vehicles at a supercharger, generally speaking, you can't precondition the vehicle for fast charging. With the exception of some of the vehicles like EGMP vehicles, you can manually precondition them, but certainly for the Atto 3, you can't heat up the battery, so to speak, to try to get a faster rate initially. So that's just one drawback of using a fast charger. And also the top rate of the Atto 3 is only 88 kilowatts, as I've shown previously on my road trips. The superchargers here, V4 Superchargers, can top out at 250 kilowatts, so some might argue it's a bit of a waste to use such a fast charger, but still, it's a nice fail-safe to have if you're on a road trip. Having the supercharger network there at your disposal is very handy. Cuts out a lot of that charger anxiety, because they are very reliable, these things. And they are slightly more expensive as well than other providers. So last time I used these, they were 70 cents per kilowatt hour for non-Tesla EVs and those without a membership. You can pay for a membership for $10 a month, and that'll get you the same rate as a Tesla vehicle at 48 cents. Of course, these are all dynamic pricing, so it does change from time to time and from time of day as well. So there we are, here we are at Chatswood Place, at the mix. And you want to turn into, I think it's Oscar Street, this one, and then you turn left where it says P. It's a bit messy today because Chatswood's got a fair, I think, so a lot of the roads are shut. So you want to go to the green level, and this place has reasonable signage, so see the T symbols there already? It's pretty good. Oh, I see a Tesla with reverse lights on, it's never good. Okay, we're good. We're going. They're probably going to charge as well. All right. Sunny's off. No sunglasses holder. Just saying, unfortunately. Ticketless parking. I think it's 3 hours free. Yeah, 3 hours free parking. Free parking up to 6 p.m, which is good. Clear to enter. Sweet. Okay, so don't go down there. You want to keep going here. Follow the signage which says electric car chargers. Electric car chargers. Love the good signage. Hats off to whoever designed this. And just from experience, you just go down, down, down to green level. Now, of course, I do like 95% of my charging at home because one, it's much cheaper, and AC charging is better for the battery. I only really just DC charge when I'm on a road trip because I have to. No other choice, but yeah, AC charge it whenever you can, everyone. Now, let's go around this way. 'Cause someone said last time I went the wrong way because you should try to follow the signage in the car park. But okay, so here we are. We are here. We'll take this spot here. Drive in because our charger is on the front right. All right, let's park for a second. You can leave the engine on. You can leave the car on actually while you're doing this. So let's plug in. Okay, so here we are. Let's open up here. Let's take out both flaps. And let's grab the plug. Make sure you park nice and close to the charger. Let's plug in. All right, let's hop inside and start the charge. Now there is reception down here, which is great. So let's have a look. So Chatswood, New South Wales, 3 of 8 stores available. It is quite busy today. Charging fees, like I said, 70 cents per kilowatt hour for non-Tesla EVs, and then you can pay a bit less with a membership. So there we go. 48 cents per kilowatt hour. You pay $9.99 per month, otherwise it's 70 cents. Okay, so let's charge here. Now we need to take note of which store we're at. So there is 1 or 2 bars of 5G down here, so it can take a little while to get going. All right, so I've got my Amex card ready, 70 cents per kilowatt hour. Let's go have a look which post we're at, or which store we're at. Okay, so we're at store 1C. Okay, store 1C. Let's start charging. Okay, some beeping noises happening here. Charging connecting, signs are good. Initializing charge. Hey, hey. Hello, look at that. V4 Tesla Supercharger and the BYD Atto 3 2024 is going at the full rate at 39%, 87, which is pretty much full. It's, as you showed you earlier, it's 88 kilowatts for top speed. So we're getting a full speed at 39%. That's really nice. Expected 55 minutes to full charge, so we probably won't stay that long, but all the metrics you need is right there, which is handy. And then we look at the Tesla app as well. It's all good things. 56 cents, 65 cents it's going up, 88 kilowatts, it's what it's pulling from the charger. Happy days. Energy delivered, 55-second duration, and at any time you can just stop charging as well. Wow, I'm very happy with that. That's good. Good to see. And there it is there, charging away. Great, see how long that cable is, right? You can stretch all the way there. So it's a good thing about these V4 chargers, they've got the longer cables, which can accommodate non-Tesla EVs. And then if you want instructions, you've got a QR code there as well for charging a non-Tesla EV. All right, I might unplug actually. I don't need to charge too much. It's just a demonstration, so let's do that right now for you. Okay, so to unplug, literally just stop charging. I should just clock off. Again, the cell reception here is not great, 1 to 2 bars. And then charging stopped at 10:21. Got about 5% out of it in a little test. I should just unplug pretty easily. There we go. And then, because we're good citizens, just pop it back into the Tesla Supercharger port. Now, you see how there's a credit card facility there. It's not active just yet, but hopefully one day you can just tap your credit card and you'll be able to charge real quick. And don't do what I did once on a road trip and forget to put the plugs back in. So do that. And shut the door. Otherwise they'll be flapping around. Alright, so happy days. That's just the sensors going off as I'm pulling out of the spot here. Happy days, I've got the BYD Atto 3 charging, which I'm very happy with. And then just to find my way out of this car park, which is not too hard actually. Pretty easy. But yeah, so that's another huge benefit of the new Atto 3s. This is something the current generation of Atto 3s cannot do, which is charge at a Tesla Supercharger, unfortunately. I've been advocating a lot for the Atto 3 owners and some of the Seal owners too, the earlier Seal models, to get BYD Australia to fix this issue, because it's, you know, a source of angst at the moment if you're on a road trip and you can't plug in like that. But good to see the 2024 ones can charge, which is good. So as I make my way out of this car park, again, as you saw, a bit of a handling test there to get out, that there are a lot of benefits to the new 2024 Atto 3s. So let's put my sunnies on. As you saw, number one, new paint scheme and new interiors, which make the car look a bit more refined, a bit more modern, I guess, a bit more contemporary. less funky, some would argue. Continental Tyres, so recognizable brand, which is great. There were concerns around the quality of the Atlas Batman tyres on the old Atto 3. Next thing is the the BYD on the back, as opposed to Build Your Dreams. That was a point of contention as well. Yeah, and then the fact that you can obviously charge the Tesla Supercharger, that's a huge improvement. Great feature. And the last thing is camp mode, which BYD like to advertise on their website, but honestly it's just the fact that you can turn the daytime running lights off, and you do that by going to the settings. Go to the vehicle settings here and lights, and then you scroll down. See that daytime running lights? So you can, once the car is stopped and parked, you can turn that off. That way, that's technically camp mode. You can keep the air conditioning running with the car locked and lights off up till 20% of the battery. So let's see, if I just push park, turn off daytime running lights if you wanted. So yeah, that's a summary of the improvements of the new 2024 BYD Atto 3. Alright, so as I leave the chaos that is Chatswood behind me, I just want to briefly thank BYD Australia and EV Direct again for loaning me this vehicle for the week. It's so nice to be able to play with all the new features and highlight them to you. And again, for $50,000, it's really hard to argue with a car like this. It's such good value, for a mid-size SUV that pretty much does everything you need. And sure, the software and the outlook and the UX may not be as refined as some other vehicles, but again, you got to look at the price, and a lot can be forgiven for that price point. So yeah, thanks again for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that review and walkthrough and test in the real world of the BYD Atto 3. Like I said, done many road trips with the Atto 3 in the past, so check those out. Done all those tests as well, so check those out in the catalog. And I've also done many tests in my BYD Seer, which can be translated across to the BYD Atto 3 as well. Many of the features are very similar, including all the software updates too, so check those out as well. So until next time, thanks for watching, and as always, happy charging.